Welcome everyone to the August meeting of the acquisition SIG for koha-US. We will have, don't have a specific agenda. This is kind of meet and share kind of time this month. And if anybody has particular issues that they're struggling with acquisitions or bugs they'd like to highlight, or other things, then we can talk about that. And I also have a couple of them that I've been looking at. So, you know, nobody has any ideas, we can start with those, and I'm sure it will stimulate ideas as we go along. And I apologize for all the clanging and banging you might hear in the background. They're working on the streets, like right outside my window. So it's loud. So
Well,
go ahead.
I wanted to get everyone pumped up for Koha version 2105 because, as some of you I'm sure are aware, there is going to be an acquisitions log system preference added to all the logging system preferences. And we talked about that, over a year ago? And everybody contributed comments, and Round Rock contributed, I think, to that development too. So we got one in, and it's an important one. So good job, everybody. So coming up, if you haven't already upgraded to 2105 out in the broader Koha community, or if you're a Bywater partner, you can expect to get that this fall and start logging all of those important acquisitions changes that we wanted to know about.
Yeah, that was like step one of the process that we put in a bug for being able to track changes in the budgeting. So, you know, it won't show up on your screen, you know, part of the GUI interface, but you can do now, or as soon as you get 2105, you'll be able to like write a report and see what changes you've made to the budget. So it's step one in the right direction. So thanks for highlighting that. And I guess the other thing that I should be highlighting is the conference coming next month for koha-US. We want to encourage everybody to participate, whether that's in person or online, because it's a great way to make connections. So our meeting next month will be during the conference, either Thursday or Friday. I think our meeting is on Thursday of the conference, and that's the 23rd of September. And Jason put a link in there for the conference information. And we will have some people in person, but then we're also going to, you know, do a Zoom thing where we can, you know, everybody can attend the meeting at McKinney, virtually or in person. So I would really encourage you to register. Registration, if you're doing virtual, is free. You just register so that we have a sense of how many people are attending. And then there's some really, really good presentations this year, you know, interesting stuff. So you can, you know, pick the ones that you want to watch. On Tuesday and Wednesday, it's basically 2 days of presentations. And then Thursday and Friday are SIG groups. So you know, acquisitions is meeting, but also, you know, education and I can't even think right now, all the other SIG groups that we have will be circulation, you know, all those different groups. And the general koha-US meeting is also going to be during the conference, so you can attend that too. So definitely, if you get a chance, tune in and join us. And hopefully we'll get to see some of you there. I know it'll probably be full of Texans at this point. So kind of what it's looking like. But yeah, if you can join us, that would be great. So does anybody have a bug they'd like to talk about, or a process that they're having trouble with, or even better, something that you've worked out that you think would be great for us to just to share with everybody?
I have some bugs that I was in Bugzilla yesterday looking at acquisitions, some that are interesting to me, but if other people have other things like processes and questions, I don't want to stop them from doing that.
Okay.
That seems like a no.
Yeah. All right. So we've got.
So I put a bug in the chat, 22329. And this one I think is, it says parent funds showing incorrect amounts for ordered, spent, available on the acquisitions home page. And this one, I think, corrects the behavior that I was looking for. There was some other bug that got fixed recently, and I thought it was going to fix this behavior, but it was something similar but different. And this one, I think, is where if you have a parent, if you set up parent and child funds, if you have a parent that's got $10,000 in it, and you have child funds that are 5,000 and 2,000 and 3,000, that whatever you spend in the child funds should be reflected in the total amount shown in the parent fund. And it's not really doing that right now. And so we had set up, I know Rhonda showed me at a conference how they had the parent and child fund set up. And I thought, I'm going to do that for my next fiscal year. I don't remember what conference that was. And so I set them up. And then I was looking at all the totals and everything. And it's like, I don't understand this. This doesn't seem correct. And so we ended up reverting back to just the, way where everything is just a fund, not parent and child. But, if you're interested in that, interested in using it, make a comment on this one, because it would be really nice to have the financials actually, make sense.
Yeah, this is one that I've been watching too. I did discover that if you go to the budget, I think, let's see, I can follow the bouncing ball. You go to the budget page, I think it is. If you go to acquisitions and then budgets, and then click on your budget, there they do the math right.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to have to do that.
Right. And that was our thought too, is if you're going to the acquisitions homepage, I want to see it correct there. And then the discrepancy then creates staff questions between why does it show this here and something different there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've commented on that once, but that was, yeah, I think it got closed. Oh, it was marked as a duplicate of another bug, and now I'm reopening it. So maybe I can.
It does seem to be in that not quite hard line gray area where technically this functionality is an improvement on the existing one, even though it's not working right. So
No.
developers call it an enhancement. Though from where you're sitting, it looks like a bug. 'Cause
Mhm.
it should number right.
Yeah.
A good one to get a lot of attention on at the koha-US conference, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, that would be.
And I came across a related one that is 26878. Add ability to prevent spending against parent funds.
Oh,
And I think when we were setting this up, we were never thinking about, our thought was you have a parent fund and it just reflects like a total. And everything happens in all the child funds. But apparently you can spend directly from a parent fund. We weren't thinking of it that way. But this one would be like, do you want to allow spending directly from the parent fund or maybe not? And I thought this was an interesting one. I think if we set this, if this gets corrected and the, totals get fixed, then if we set this up, and this other bug went through, we would probably elect to say, no, don't spend from the parent funds, only spend from, the children. And then that feeds into what the total shows on the parent. So I thought that one was kind of good.
yeah. I will write that one down and come back later and comment on it. Because every once in a while we'll see, oh, why is there money out of our parent fund? That's not the intention for us, it's not the intention of the parent fund. So if we could block that, that would be great.
I have a few more. Do you want me to keep going?
Go for it.
All right. This one is 28449, and it's linked from basket summary to invoice for an order line. And if I'm understanding this one correctly, this is basically reduce the number of clicks you have to do to get there. I think right now you have to let me look. I think it was like 3 clicks. And if there was a link directly there, it would just be nicer.
Yeah.
This one might be the one you were going to mention earlier, Rhonda,
Oh,
10758.
yeah.
I think this is like absolutely essential. When you cancel, what is it? Show bibliographic information of deleted records and acquisitions. So when you've ordered something and then later that bib gets deleted, you lose all that bibliographic information. And you just get like, I'd have to look at one, but you get some kind of generic, I don't know, bibliographic information can't be shown for this record or something, but you have no clue what it was. And it just seems like it's really absolutely essential to be able to have the bib information for that stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, and the fact that it doesn't show that bibliographic information, or there's something about if you delete a record ahead of time, before it's received or something like that, then the basket never closes. Also, that's another problem. We're Bywater supported, so we have to contact Bywater and go into the database itself and do some magic there in order to get the basket to actually close.
This one is 28562, add date received to basket summary. And I hope I'm understanding what they're saying here. I think they're meaning on the page where you see everything, where some of your things are received and some are not, that there would be a date included on that page. And so in the comments, it was maybe add a received date as a new column, which could be hidden if you needed it to, or possibly make it visible along with the received, so that you would see, for every title you would see received and you would see the date. I kind of played around with like, well, what would that look like? And I felt like, to me, it seemed like another column would be better. But that's just my feeling. But this one, if you've got thoughts on it, I'd say add some comments there. This is the last one I have. 28237, which is make notes from basket visible on the order receive page. And it says that we show the internal note from the order line on receive, but the notes added when creating a basket are not shown anywhere in the basket summary. It would be nice if we could show the internal note from the basket when receiving an order from the basket. So basically just, making information that's in one place visible in another.
I think this is what we need. We had our system set up so that any notes that we put in Ingram or Midwest tape or anything like that would actually somehow it was getting saved and then put into the final record, get copied over to the final record. Somewhere along the line that broke in some release. And so that's something which is very helpful, like for our catalog, for the collection developers to pass information to the catalogers, to pass information to the processors, all that kind of stuff. I think that would be really great if we could get something like that. to go.
So if any of these kinds of functionality are important to you, please go in and make comments, because I think that's, you know, how you get, how these things get noticed and how developers know we want these changes to happen.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah, add yourself on the email list so that you can see any updates that get made to the bug, and then, you know, you can comment if you see something you really like, or you don't like, or whatever. You can be on top of it. I get emails from Bugzilla regularly on things that I'm interested in. So it just kind of keeps you in the loop. And of course, so does anybody else have any bugs or anything? I know I'm racking my brain. We talked about something that I'm going to put Marcy on the spot here. We talked about something at the last meeting that we thought Marcy was doing, and I cannot remember what it was right now. Something to do with, and Marcy, we talked about it, and I can't remember what it was now.
Well,
It
go
had to
ahead.
it had to do with interlibrary loan and kind of using the purchase suggestions module.
Yeah. So we haven't really moved forward on officially trying to migrate interlibrary loans, more ILLs, to patron suggestions. We do have the patron suggestion module customized to just work better for my workflow. But staffing wise, I would need more staff in tech services in order to really do that. And I think interlibrary loan right now is not in tech services. So maybe in another year we'll revisit it. But I do remember thinking, oh, I should have gone to the last meeting because I missed it.
So when you say that your purchase suggestion is customized, what kinds of things did you do?
We didn't like what the different statuses were called. So we changed that. And I'm trying to think what else. That may be all for now. It's been a while since we had Bywater help us with that.
Okay.
I can say that every time we upgrade, it kind of loses the customization. So that's a little annoying, but you know, it works.
Yeah. So what in a perfect world, what would your process look like, your purchase suggestion ILL process?
So what we hope to do eventually is increase patron-driven acquisitions. And what we're finding is a lot of the interlibrary loan requests that are being made would be more appropriate as a purchase suggestion because the item is newer or it's something that other people would also probably check out. And so right now, our interlibrary loan, of course, we use Navigator. And when people make their requests, they're live. They go directly live. And so if we were going to convert those into patron suggestions, we would need staff to be going in very frequently to cancel the interlibrary loan, put it into a patron suggestion. So one of the things we've kind of tossed around doing is not having the interlibrary loans be live and have it all filter through a generic form that's, hey, I need material that you don't have, and then letting staff decide if it should be a purchase or an ILL. Again, very labor intensive, which is the holdup. So we're kind of negotiating how important is it to do this. My director likes the idea of us purchasing more and spending that time on purchases instead of ILLs, because then other people can also check it out. But it's going to take a lot of staff time, I think. So that's the biggest holdup.
Okay.
Don't know if it helps too much, but there are more customizations getting enhanced in the purchase suggestion area in koha 2105. That might help with the whole upgrade and things get blown away.
Yeah.
Or,
That would be good.
Custom text for each library. Okay. Class names. I know that one thing we did at a library I used to work at is there was, like you said, Marcy, one form, and people could on that form say, you know, everything was assumed to be a purchase suggestion, but then staff could look at it, you know, like if it was out of print, or if it was, you know, there's all these different reasons why you would, you know, some obscure thing that nobody else will want, you know, whatever. But the difference between a purchase suggestion and an interlibrary loan is the library I worked at did charge postage for the interlibrary loan. So
Right.
there was a little radio button or whatever that said, if the, you know, if the library, you know, this is not the diplomatically correct way to say it, but, you know, if the library staff has determined that this, you know, we want to do this as an interlibrary loan, are you willing to pay the $5? You know, if not, you know, then we'll just reject it, you know,
Right.
for whatever reason. That really kind of worked well because the collection developers would get to see what was being suggested, or, you know, what people were doing interlibrary loans for. You know, right now we just get this one report like once a month, and it's just this big spreadsheet, and it's got, you know, every.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, you've got the children's mixed in with the adults, mixed in with it, you know, and it's like, you know, do I even want to look at this kind of thing?
Yeah.
So that's always been kind of my thought in the back of my head, if we could get to that point where, you know, we could somehow customize the form to let people know, you know, yeah, this is a purchase suggestion, but
If we don't purchase, then
yeah.
we don't charge for interlibrary loans. So, but I still think one of the questions I would like to ask on the purchase suggestion form is, do you want to hold on this item, or do you just think we should have it? Probably not phrased quite that way,
Yeah.
but you know.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah, there's some that I think people just think we should have because
their brother-in-law wrote the book.
Yes, or they grew up reading that book, and how can you not have it for kids? So. We did recently stop using new stickers on our new items.
Oh,
so
how did you manage that?
Well, it was kind of a process, and it wasn't the smoothest transition. We were using shelving location to designate new status. And then when the items arrived, my staff would have to put the stickers on, and then the stickers would have to be removed and the statuses changed to whatever shelving location it would have. So we migrated that to an item type instead of shelving location, and then we could program our check-in stations and our sorter and all of the peripherals to route it to a new display. So we found out a lot of things that it was possible to do, but the order of how it was routing things, you know, if it went into transit to go to the other location, we don't care, we don't need to see that it was new. So we had to kind of work with it to say, if it goes into transit, just put it in transit. But if it is staying in this location and it's not on hold, then we want to see it route to new. So it was a little bumpy, but it's actually been a lot smoother than I thought it would be. I thought staff would balk a little bit more, but it seems to be working pretty well. And at the end of the month, I'll just take off a month's worth of new stuff, and no one will have to de-sticker. But it's really saved a lot of time on the front end with the stickering.
And how do staff know that it is new and it should go to a new display?
So if it's manually checked in, Koha pops up a message that says route to new display. If it comes in at our John and Judy Gay library, there's a sorter, and it routes it into the same bin that the holds go into. So then staff is manually scanning those, and it will either pop a hold or say route to new display. And then we also have, it's sort assist at our downtown location, where we have a smart bin that checks things in as they're dropped in, but then staff sets a clump of 5 books or 5 items onto a pad. And that one was the hardest one to program, but they finally got it to where it'll pop up a message that says route to new display.
And so,
And so
do the materials go onto like a cart
a
that
special cart.
specified that these are new? So it's the
Yeah.
cart that is
Yeah.
designated, not the actual items on the cart?
Right, the cart itself is designated for new. So we had to decide for some of our collections where we don't have that many, or they're not shelved with all the other new materials. Like we decided not to do new CD audio just because we didn't have that many anymore, and they're not, having it go on that same cart wouldn't really fit with our shelving system. But other than that, I think it's been pretty smooth.
Okay. Anybody else have any fun things that they're doing with their process, or questions for Marcy about what she's doing? Okay. Well, whenever I get a chance, I will beat the drum for this particular bug. 19358. Where did it go? This is to connect purchase suggestions to the EDI orders, because right now you can connect them to regular, non-EDI orders, but you can't connect them to EDI orders. So if we can get lots of attention on this one, that would be great. Barbara's got her comments in there. I've got mine. Yeah, if we could get this, because I know this is like step one of being able to put holds on stuff for people if they want a hold on it. Some libraries will do that. If you put in a purchase suggestion, they'll automatically put a hold on it. But until we can get, for EDI libraries, until we can get this working, we can't really even begin, we can't even take steps towards getting that functionality. So if you can comment on that one, that would be great.
And I think we did a paid development with Bywater for this kind of functionality, and I think it's related to this bug because that bug number sounds familiar.
Okay.
And I think it was us and several other libraries, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, I think
it was like a 2-part development. Something had to happen first, and it was something that wasn't really going to benefit us because of the way our process works. And then there was a second part to it.
Yeah.
And let's see. I don't know that it's actually been assigned or not. I'd have to go back and look to see the last communication I had about this one.
Okay. Hang on.
Yeah, that one would be super helpful for us because we do place holds on patron suggestions. And so I'm manually doing that and it takes a while.
Hang on one second. I gotta shut my door.
It looks like I did put a comment on my ticket in December about, what's the status of this? Has it been assigned? What's the timeline kind of thing? And I don't think I got a reply. I could be wrong, but so I'm not exactly sure where that one is at this point.
Is there a separate bug for that one, Barbara, or is it related directly to 19358?
I'm looking.
Yeah, it looks like it was you or Barbara, you're us and one other library. Because I've got a ticket in our ticketing system as well.
Yeah, in my ticket, it says that when they gave us the quote and we talked about everything, it says,
Oh, Monterey.
when an order is placed from an existing suggestion, immediately place a hold for the item for the patron who made the suggestion. Also, based on work in Bugzilla 19358, create a hold for a patron when you link a suggestion to the order.
Okay. Yeah, so well, yeah. This 19358 is actually co-sponsored with Round Rock, Monterey, and North Central Regional Library. And then, so someday it should be there.
What's your ticket number, Rhonda?
Okay. In the Bywater ticket system or the
Yeah.
37860.
Thanks.
Mhm. Okay, yeah. So, but yeah, for those of you that are going to the conference, you can see what Marcy is doing in real life. Kind of watch the whole new books thing, and maybe we can brainstorm about purchase suggestions and see, and versus ILLs. That to me
That
is
would
really
be great.
yeah, that's really interesting to me,
Mhm.
to try and streamline that whole process. Is there anything else anybody else wants to ask about, share?
I just came across this bug that I poked in
Oh.
the chat. Please hold for patrons on accepted purchase suggestions, which sort of sounds like what Barbara was talking about. Would love to see that too. So
Okay. Yeah. Andrew's comment, this is a really common request when training new Koha users. Go figure. Yeah, so we can add that one. Where is that? Okay.
I had a question, and I think it's for Marcy. We were talking at a meeting, and I think it was, so you've got an order, and it has it has several items attached to it. And then you learn that the order, it's not going to fill, so you cancel the order. And it had something, I'm thinking that this had something to do with it was leaving behind items.
yeah.
Can you go through what that is again?
Yes. So if you cancel an order and it's on hold,
Yeah.
then it will leave behind. If you had 5 items, it will cancel 4 of them and leave behind 1. Whereas before the last upgrade, it would cancel all the items and leave the bib out there with the holds intact. So what I have to do now, like if a date got pushed and I cancel it, but I'm going to order it again next budget year, I have to remember to go in and cancel that leftover item record from the first order, which is a hassle. What we did before is we just left the bib record out there with the holds. And then when we got to the end of the month and we went in to cancel, delete withdrawn and items and empty bibs, we would leave them out there because I'm pretty sure it gives you, if something's on hold, it'll prompt you, it'll give you a warning when you go to delete, batch delete those bibs.
Yeah.
So we would just leave them out there, and if I hadn't already placed an order, I would place an order, or I would go investigate. Oh, this got its date pushed indefinitely, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel all the holds and delete the bib. So it made more sense to me the way it was before, where it would let you delete all those items.
Okay. Does anybody else have any bugs they want to highlight or process questions or anything like that? And definitely, you know, go in and put your name on some of these in Bugzilla if you're interested, because it really does make a difference. If the developers see that there's, you know, if there's a developer out there going, what should I do next? They're going to go find the one that has lots of comments on it and, you know, start working on that one. Okay. All right, just a reminder that next month, our meeting will be at the conference. So if you're attending the conference in person, you will be there, but you can join us. It's, Jason, do you have that pulled up, what time it is?
It's Thursday at 10 o'clock Central Time is the acquisitions.
Okay.
So Thursday, September 23rd, I believe we said.
Yep.
Yeah, at 10 a.m. So an hour earlier and on a different day.
And on a different day, not, you know.
And we haven't really figured out the logistics yet, but you'll probably just be joining a Zoom room if you're attending virtually. And then we'll have the Zoom room up in the actual physical room so that the two places can interact somehow. Working out the kinks on that, but we'll have it figured out. And then for the first 2 days of the conference where we're just having presentations, those will probably all be on YouTube if you're watching remotely.
And all the presentations will be shown, the ones that are live and the virtual, yes?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, because I had somebody here say, oh, they're only going to show the virtual ones. They're not going to show the live ones. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, so the plan is to stream the conference days, the presentation days, the full days are going to be streamed to YouTube. So if somebody's presenting in person, then you'll see a person presenting in person. And if they're presenting virtually, you'll see somebody's Zoom room screen. The workshop days are going to be a little bit different. Some of those will probably be, I would guess that those days are all going to happen entirely within the Zoom rooms. So if you want to watch George's presentation on SQL, for instance, he'll probably be presenting it in a Zoom room and we'll just send that out to the online attendees. But there's capacity considerations there too. So if we go over a certain limit, we may have to stream part of it and have interaction. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, George will definitely be in the Zoom room one way or the other. I don't know about the rest of you.
Okay, well, coming up on 5 minutes to, well, the hour, which happens to be noon in Central Time. So if there aren't any other questions, we can call it a meeting. All right, well, see you all either virtually or in person next month. And yeah, we'll have a good month, and, you know, definitely we've got our chat group or whatever, you know, the Google group that you can ask questions to there, and definitely take advantage of that. You know, you don't have to just wait till we get together to come up with ideas and stuff like that. So you take advantage of that, and you can join that on the koha-US page. You can join that chat group. So, all right, we'll see everybody later.
Bye.
Bye.